In the last video, the challenge was to record ourselves while taking class. I can't do it during my regular studio class, so I'm just gonna do it right here in my living room. I'm gonna do just follow up Catherine Morgan's No Intros Beginner Ballet class, and I'm gonna record it. I haven't done this in a while, so this is gonna be good for me to see where I am, so I can see what the teacher sees. So I don't have any illusions of myself. I have plenty of those, but important also is going to be to kind of set aside all judgment and just see where I am, so I can work on what I need to work on, what's going to make the greatest impact for me at the stage where I am right this moment. Right, let's see. So I misspoke earlier. The challenge to record ourselves while in class, that was in video number 1. Last video challenge was a little different. It had to do with the line of the arms. So here, before I take class, I am going to take time to warm up on the floor and to find my line, to warm up my feet. And it's always good to get the blood flowing and just remind myself that I have these things, because as you'll see in a minute, I forget to use them at the bar. It's easy when the entire focus is on the feet, right? But at the bar, lots of things are happening. And somehow the feet just fall through the cracks. I just completely forget about them. While the dancers probably usually think more about feet than anything else. I wouldn't know though. But just by watching them, just like seeing the incredible foot articulation, you would think that's a big part of your focus. So here I am trying to work from my core exclusively, relaxing the shoulders, the hips, and the neck. And here I am warming up my hip sockets, which theoretically I will use at the bar because I'll be working in turnout. This is a good anti-sickling exercise, pushing the heels forward. Also, you'll see I forget that as soon as I start class. This is to warm up my spine and my back. This is not a position that's used in ballet. I learned it in my modern class, but it feels really good to move in different dimensions. Here I'm warming up my low back, going up and down, and then rotating the pelvis clockwise and counterclockwise. So normally, ideally, I would spend 20 minutes to half hour before class to warm up. This doesn't happen. Not yet, anyway. I am really committed to making it happen. But here I just wanted to get to the class faster, so I didn't do as much. Oops, right here, see the pelvic tilt coming out of the demi-plie? Not good. And see that remains. I'm not really making a straight line. See, my hip flexors are bending. Oops. See that tilt again? And my stomach is hanging out. All that core warm up I just did, what happened? Of course, the releve, the susu is difficult. Why? Because then there's no straight line. Oops, I already forgot the combination. I was working so hard trying to remember the technique that I completely forgot what I was doing. Not good. No, I set this up on purpose so that I would face the teacher who is on the screen of my laptop right there on my fireplace. And on the first side, and the second side I would face away from the teacher, so I would have to remember the combination that I had just done. And so far it's not working. Big surprise. What do you think happens to me every class? I have to rely on the person in front of me to remember the combination. And that's the habit I am really trying hard to break, because it just doesn't work. If you follow someone else, you will never be on the music. And then when you're in the center, you are not going to be able to do the combination. My YouTube has ads on it, so I have to skip the ad to go back to the class. Here's the Tandu. So see now, because my pelvis is out of alignment, then it's difficult for me to find the grounded stance on my standing leg, right? I'm not shifting my weight correctly on my standing leg from the, from 2 feet to 1 foot to the ball of the foot. I'm kind of hanging out closer to the heel of the standing foot. And that means that the working foot is not free to Tandu. So the Tandu is a pretty crappy Tandu, right? My feet is not really articulating. not even to the extent that it can. Yeah, see, look, there is no way that that's my best point right there. Pelvic tilt. It's nice in these roll-ups and these port de bras to articulate the back a little better, vertebrae by vertebrae. Just a quick note to self for the future. Yeah, see, it looks like I am not even trying to pull up my core. Oh, see right here, look, magic. I can pull up my core. And I already forgot the Tandu combination, just like I did plie. Same problems here, pelvic tilt, weight in my heel of my standing foot. These are not difficult combinations, by the way. Very, very simple. And yet my brain is so distracted that I can't hold the combination in it. Making mistakes. Which I am trying to remember my technique, but also there's some random thoughts that keep creeping in, taking me off, taking my focus off what I'm doing. So here I forgot already that the port de bras we're doing in Tandu is not the same port de bras we did in plies. So kind of lost my spot in the music. Have to go check in with Catherine to see what to do next. Uh-oh. This is pretty miserable Tandu right here. Even though I'm holding on to the bar, nothing's really working. Why? Well, because I'm not engaging my core. That's why. See, it looks like my core is completely loose. What happened? My neck is moving, my shoulders are moving. See how I am standing on my working foot, using it for balance. Not good. Also, you see how I'm not initiating from my turnout, which of course would be hard to do if the core is not engaged and I'm not grounded on my standing side. It's a little bit better there. You're not really initiating from the turnout. It's going from the hip, from the knee, from the foot, I don't know what, but not from where it's supposed to be. Surprise, surprise, forgot the combination again. I'm doing this bar in my bare feet because I want to see what my toes are doing. My toes should be stretched, not crunched. Oops, it's a sickled foot. The funny thing is, I remember thinking during this whole entire exercise about not sickling my feet. But again, it's a problem with the mind wandering. Because then there are moments when I am focused on what I'm doing, and there are other moments when I don't seem to be, and everything just kind of falls apart. Now, it's hard to balance when your pelvis is tilted. Oops, sickle, sickle. That foot, the working foot, could engage much more as it comes off the floor and kind of like communicate that muscle tone to the whole leg, but this is not happening. So see, the leg's all jerky, the foot is sickling. And on top of that, my standing leg is not on the ball of the foot. Yeah, that balance didn't really happen there. See, even when I'm holding onto the bar with both of my hands, my hips are still tilted. It's just a nasty, nasty habit. And even more so when the hands are off the bar. Yeah, I see the pelvis is all over the place. Nothing is still. His legs are not super straight. You can see how the energy is just not focused. Yeah, the pelvis is moving all over the place. The shoulders, the arm, everything. Have to be so much more pulled up. See, there's no way that I couldn't pull up more than I'm doing there. And then I'm struggling so much to keep my balance Where when I'm looking at it, it seems like, well, why don't you just pull up at the core? And everything would be so much better. So this dégagé exercise has just a tiny bit of added complexity. It's not very complex, it's simple. But the part that I keep missing is that the first 3 dégagés close in first, and the next 3 close in 5th. Let's see, now I got so confused. I confused the sides. I don't remember when I'm closing in 5th à la seconde where to close first. Well, this one I finally figured it out. Yeah, see, even in rond de jambes, this little plie before the rond de jambes is really important to have the weight on the ball of the standing foot. It makes a difference even here. Look at these hips and the shoulders. Everything is rotating. Unbelievable. Like I've never taken ballet in my whole entire life. Like if this were my first ballet class ever, that would be pretty good. I would be very happy with it. The thing is, it's not my first. It's not my second either. I don't know if I've literally done it a million times, but probably a few thousand times. But the problem is I haven't watched myself like I'm doing now. I've done it maybe a few times and then I stopped. But I have to do this, I'm afraid, every single time when I can. You know, when I'm in class, it's not gonna happen, but when I'm at home, you can learn a lot. You can teach yourself a lot by just watching yourself, right? And I think that's one of the differences between us amateurs and professionals. Every professional is her own teacher. They have plenty of other teachers, but they always teach themselves. So that's what I need to do. just keep recording these renditions until I see that something has shifted. And I can keep my torso still. Wow, wouldn't that be a miracle? Oh my God. You know, it feels so good doing these things. But then I look at what I've actually done. And I feel different. So see, it would have been helpful for me to get a solid susu before I try to balance and passe. Sicle, sicle. These poor teachers over the years that have watched me to do this, what must they have thought of me? See, also when I'm straightening my leg, I kind of push my knee back. You can see that here, instead of pushing my foot into the floor. And the difference would be to make a straight line with the entire body instead of just sort of just pushing the knee back, and then my hips go back. It just doesn't look the same. That foot looks so relaxed there. Why? Why aren't you pointing your feet? What's the matter with you? See, my legs are now just a tiny bit hyperextended just from doing this incorrectly this whole time. See, this is where it would really be nice to have a really solid demi. So my knee is bent in this so-called attitude position, my standing knee. And the reason I believe is because, again, I wasn't thinking about pushing the foot into the floor. Instead, I was just focusing on my working leg and my back, and I completely forgot about my standing leg. And as a result, it looks bent, even though it felt straight to me. But see, you can't rely on your feelings because these are just all bad habits deceiving you. Then again, I am very capable of holding my torso still. And yet I'm not doing that. Here, trying to shift my weight finally onto the ball of my foot. Sickle, sickle. I'm also not clear here at all where my knee has to be for my optimal turnout. As you can see, the knee kind of shifts from here to there to the other place, where ideally it would just stay. Once it arrives at passe, it would just stay, right? It wouldn't like turn in, turn out like I'm doing here. Same with up and down, which that one was okay, but Alice Cone, my knee goes up, but when it straightens, then it drops. Again, the idea is not to push the knee in, it's to extend the line. And I'm actually shortening the line at that very last moment when I'm straightening my knee. That was not bad to the back, but to the side is a problem.
I've always wanted to try pickleball. Everyone's playing.
I just think these are such basic things. I wonder how long it would take me to clean that all up. I have no doubt that I can clean that up. But I need to do this every day and record this every day. And maybe like not even a long class like this, but just take one exercise and work on it until it's clean. So I think that's what I'm gonna do in the upcoming videos. Just do some pliés, some Tandu, some like every single one, just really get it into my body. This is a really good class for that purpose because every exercise is done twice, once with the hand on the bar and the second time with the hands off the bar. So it immediately tests what you did the first time you did it. Okay, so now I'm really tired. And I have to do these torturous plie releves. I don't like plie releves. I wonder why. Maybe it has something to do with this pelvic tilt here that makes everything feel 20 pounds heavier. And see, I'm jerking everything instead of extending my line. Just extend your line. See, don't jerk up. Just pull, just push into the floor. How do I forget these things that have been said to me thousands of times? How do I forget it as soon as I'm in class? You know, my calves hurt really bad. So this is a much needed release. Now I'm gonna just try some pirouettes, just to see where I am, just to mark my baseline. I'm gonna put my socks on so my feet don't stick to the floor. And from what I've seen, yeah, I'm not gonna do any great pirouettes here because pirouettes are just physics. If you can hold a straight line, you can turn. If the line is not straight, then you fall out of the turn. So this is it. The challenge before the next video is going to be to watch what you've recorded and find one habit that you are going to get rid of. Mine is obviously going to be getting rid of my pelvic tilt.